We're going to go next to Karen Shortt, who is an officer with the Vancouver Community College Faculty Association and has been engaged for some time in a fight back against the apparent decision to drop the ESL program for Canadians, mainly immigrants and so on. Karen, welcome to the program. So, Karen, tell us a little bit about, again, just remind us, the main features of the cuts that are scheduled, what the program was, how it's gotten to this crisis situation.
I'll take you back to what VCC English language training was a year ago. We were graduating about 5,700 students. That's not counting the federal program. 5,700 English language students per year would come through our programs. So after the cuts of the provincial government go through, we will be down to only about 300 or 400 students. So it is significant. It's going to devastate the immigrant community. We are the first stop for many people that come to Canada, that come to British Columbia to make their home. VCC is the first stop to get their language skills, their settlement skills up, and as they go into the workforce, when they need a little bit more help with pronunciation or with high-level English, VCC is the place they come to. And that will all be gone after December 17th if this government doesn't realize how serious this is and the impact it's going to have and do something to fix the situation.
Now, Karen, I know that your faculty association, I think students and community to some extent as well, are cognizant of this and are fighting back.
They are outraged. The people we have spoke to in the Chinese community particularly are outraged about what is going on. We've had people from the Iranian community speak, the Spanish community, Vietnamese, everyone that comes to this country to make their home here. They're starting to speak up and they're saying, wait, I can't believe this is true. Is this really going to happen? One of our students that spoke at the board said, ESL is my hope. Without the hope, what am I going to do? How am I going to take care of my family?
Now, you said that there was a person speaking at the board. Now, that board is provincially appointed. That's your governance structure. What role does the board play in this?
The board receives advice from Education Council on anything to do with education policy and offerings. So our Education Council met, and the vote was to not cut any at all of the ESL programs, and so that advice was taken to the college board by the chair and relayed to the college board, and they heard well over 2 hours of people coming up to the mic, one after another, saying, please don't do this, do not cut this, please send a message to the government that this is short-sighted, it's not the way that the economy can prosper by doing this. And so it was heartbreaking to hear story after story, doctors, nurses, trained professionals, accountants, architects, people who come here and have given up their life in another country to make Canada their home, and they're being told, sorry, you're going to have to be underemployed or unemployed because the basic language skill that you need to prosper in your job is no longer going to be offered.
Yeah, it does underline the hypocrisy to a large extent of the immigration policy, Karen, because you're asking professional people to come here, and yet when they come here, you're saying, oh, sorry, you can't practice your profession, here's a broom. Try janitoring. And not that janitoring is, a job that shouldn't be paid well, but the fact of the matter is they're underemployed, and it's because of language skills by and large, correct?
Absolutely, because of language skills. We had a doctor who studied here studied in the high-level college preparatory English program for close to a year, and she was really very close to writing exams and actually being able to practice here in BC. But the program is canceled after December, and so she had nowhere else to go that she could afford to have any help with her English language. And her language was good, but as she said, if I'm going to be prescribing medicine and I'm going to be looking after patients, my English has to be perfect. And so she needed a little bit more help to get going. So we lost a doctor. The doctor went back to Iran because of the fact that this program is going to be cut in a little over 2 months.
Now, you had all these people lined up at the mic. I gather most of them are students, and they're speaking directly to your Board of Governors as a college. Mm-hmm. And then what did the Board of Governors do after they heard all of these delegations?
They thanked the people that came forward. They said they heard their stories, and they received the advice from Education Council, and they said they would take it away, and the board will reconvene on November the 4th. We're hoping that in the meantime, the college board will send a strong message to the government, and we can only hope for that. There's a lot of things that go on that we're not privy to. I hope that the college is advocating for and the government is listening to the college. We're trying to make our voice heard as loud as possible with the government that this is the wrong thing to do. And we do it every way we can. We have an ESL Matters campaign. We hold rallies, talk to people in the news. We ask our students to go out and talk to other people. We're doing everything we can to get the message out, because I'm afraid that after December 17th, if this is not stopped, this absolute catastrophe that's going to happen to our immigrant communities, if it's not stopped, it's going to be very difficult to get 40 to 50 years worth of expertise back together again if, say, in 6 months the government says, oh, wait a minute, we are really missing all of the skills that VCC provided. So I'm worried that the government needs to look at one thing as a short-term funding solution to keep us at the table and to keep these programs running into March, and then a long-term solution at how we can work with the needed skills that these people are bringing to this country and the English language training that is still needed in order that people can go out and get a job and prosper and not be underemployed or unemployed, which is what is going to happen in a little under 2 months.
Karen, just talking to Cindy Oliver, president of your Federation of Post-Secondary Educators, and she was talking about the high cost of fees. She was also talking about the cuts to post-secondary education in general. Mm-hmm. How much money are we talking about here that the provincial government would have to come up with to keep this program going at the same tempo as it is now?
Well, talking about fees, the students were paying tuition. All ESL students paid tuition, the same as everyone else at a publicly funded college, up until 2 years ago. And the tuition was taken away because the federal government said, wait, you can't charge immigrants tuition, so the province stopped. The money had always flowed from the federal government into the provincial government's purse, from there into advanced education, and there into the base funding of all colleges. So the college looked at this money as this is here, this is in our base fund, we charge tuition. And that people paid, our classes were full, and everything was fine. So if we do not have tuition, if it's absolutely free, it would be $11 million a year. That's a very small price to pay for people to go out and get jobs. And we're talking thousands and thousands of students. This is not a small number of people. This is 5,700 students a year. So if we charge tuition at the same rate that the other students pay in a public post-secondary college, it would be about $8 million a year. And that's an investment. It's not a cost at all. It's an investment in the future. It's an investment in people's health, in their families, and the government will get the money back through taxes, because people will be in a higher income bracket. There'll be doctors, accountants, lawyers, engineers, healthcare providers. They'll all pay it back. So it's a very short-term investment for a much healthier society, as Cindy was saying. We want to live in a society that is fair and equitable. I think we all do. So if we all pay a little bit of tax now and people have to put some money towards this through their taxes, we will get this back. So please, I say to the public, don't think of this as a cost, because tuition is not a cost. Public education is not a cost. We need to have it so that people can prosper and pay it back.
Right. There's a couple of ways of looking at this social investment. It is an investment. It's an investment in raising the level of the members in the society who will become producers and will become, your citizens, your educated people, cultured people. And language is certainly an important requirement to become effective in a society that you're moving to.
I would say it's the basics. Without being able to communicate, it is so difficult to do anything in your life if you can't go out, the frustration that a person must feel not being able to communicate, and someone being on the receiving end saying, look, I need you to do this job, and hoping they understand what you're saying. So it helps everyone. It's not just on a one-sided, this person learns English. It helps all of us in society that we can all move ahead.
Right. And you've been carrying this campaign, and you have this is it a letter writing campaign or something you have? I mean, we always write these MLAs and MPs letters, and goodness knows what they do with them. But in any case, it's a form of pressure, I suppose. Have you heard anything back from the Higher Education Minister, Virk?
We have heard that the government continues to look for a long-term solution to providing ESL training. So we look at that as a positive sign. We're hoping that the government is still moving ahead in this direction. We are trying to meet with the government. I've asked Mr. Virk for meetings many times, had 2 meetings set up with him. He's canceled them. The latest meeting was supposed to be November 6th. He's just recently canceled that. We want to meet with him to make sure he understands what exactly is needed and the history of Vancouver Community College in providing and meeting that need. So he knows our college. He's been to our college. I want him to really think about how he's hurting people's lives if this goes ahead. And there is still time to fix it. We can still, the government can put the money forward. The teachers are still in class. We've had significant layoffs issued. 70 instructors are layoff notice, and they'll be working right up to the last day in December. We had some instructors take early retirement when the first round of cuts came in March. So our program is being slowly cut down to 0, and in March it will be 0. So we're critical. We're at a critical stage right now. And so if people want to have their voice heard, they can go to eslmatters.ca, and it's quite easy. You can read anything about our campaign. You can contact, I've got my contact information there. You can send a message by simply clicking to Premier Clark or Minister Virk. We are going over to Victoria. A large group of students are going over to the question and answer period on October 27th. So we will have a presence in the legislature, and we're hoping Mr. Virk will come out and meet with the students. We're calling upon him to come out and show his leadership on this issue. So our hopes are still that this will turn out okay, and the government will understand that it is an investment. And think of the jobs plan and the families first, and all the campaign speeches that Christy Clark made about caring about families and jobs, and saying this is where you start. You help people with communication skills and invest in them now, and it will come back.
Well, you'll all be introduced by one of the opposition MLAs, I'm sure, when you're in the legislature. Karen, the best of luck to you. Just repeat again where people can send a letter, or just give another quick.
Sure. The easiest place is to go to eslmatters.ca. And when you get there, you will see all of the videos. You'll see our Education Council meetings, our board meetings, and you'll see students speaking about their life stories. You'll be able to hear them and understand really how personal this is and how much hope people have in being able to make this their country and survive here.